Hey, it's Mike from Mad Raven Woodworks. Today I'm going to teach you how to joint warped boards with your planer. If you don't have a joiner, this is a way to join any board, or if you have a 6-inch joiner, this is a way to joint wider boards. Let me show you my jig. So we got a 6.5-inch wide piece of cherry, too big for my joiner. I want to keep the width though, so we got to figure out a way to do it. This is my planer sled for joining warped boards. It is 48 inches long. You could make it longer or shorter, whatever you want to do. And it is 12.25 inches wide. My planer is 12.5 inches wide. How it works is the rollers in the planer are going to want to push this board forward. Without this stop block, it would just fall right off. The friction of the table is going to want to keep this where it is, but since you have a stop block on here, it's going to want to push the whole jig as one. To fix the warping in the wood, you're going to want to drive wedges or shims, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, into the areas to make this whole thing very, very stable when you push down on it. That seems pretty stable right there. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to want to hot glue, put a little bead of hot glue on all these so they don't move in the process. We're going to be putting it in, taking it out, and we want it to last the length of that. If they all fell off prematurely, it'd probably screw the whole process up. So let's make sure we don't do that. Let's get that hot glue on there. The glue gun is finally ready. Finally. But before we start that, I want to show you that I countersunk these screws about halfway down this 3/4 inch ply stop block that I have. I did that in case I wasn't paying attention and the planer was getting down and the knives hit the screws and that would be awful. Planer blades aren't cheap. So I recommend gluing these. If you don't have the time, screw them down. If you screw them down, make sure you countersink them deep. All right, let's get to gluing, shall we? I'm gonna put a bead here, and I'm gonna put a bead here, and maybe a little over here, and a little over there. Make sure that wedge doesn't move. The glue doesn't really want to stick very well to MDF, so afterwards it's pretty easy just to pop them all off, and you can just keep reusing this same jig for a long time. So it takes a little while, but if you run out of options, this jig will always save you. Once that glue is set, just run it through the planer like you would any other board. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but it's already doing its job. It took away this high corner and this high corner over here and a little bit here and there. But as you can see, just keep making passes until all of it is totally smooth and planed. So after 5 to 6 passes on the planer, we have one flat jointed side. After you're done, take the board off, just turn it over and send that side through the planer, and then that will become parallel to this side. You don't have to do all of this twice. And then pop the shims off and scrape the glue, put the next board on, and you're good to keep going. So this is kind of like how it was. This is kind of like how it is now. Solid as a rock. Alright, so I know what you're thinking. How are you going to joint this side? Well, if you have a joiner, just put this side up against a fence, and then you will be able to get this side 90 degrees to that side. But if you don't have a joiner, how do you do it? Search table saw jointer jig on YouTube, and you'll probably get a ton of hits. It's similar to this jig, except for there's toggle clamps here. There's toggle clamps, and it holds down the piece. And basically, you're going to put the edge of your board over the edge of the jig, set the fence, and you're going to take off everything outside this jig. It's not going to move on you because you have toggle clamps holding it down. So I hope you learned something today, because if you didn't, I just wasted a lot of your time, and I apologize for that. But if you did learn something, please like this video and subscribe, and I will try to work on some more content for you, get you caught up to where I am. I don't know much, but I like to share what I know. So until next time, I'll see you guys.